Hi guys, it's Raphael and today I'm going to try and create a song from start to finish by 6 p.m. And it's 1:44 now, so better get cracking. Now there are many ways to go about writing a song. You can start with the lyrics, the chords, you can think of a melody in your head or play something. I like to start with a line. I find that helps quite a bit because you know exactly where you're trying to go with the song. If a song doesn't have any direction, then it's not really going to go anywhere. So let's come up with a line of some sorts. So I'm going to scour the internet. I usually have all these notes or voice memos, but I don't want to use that because I want this to be really organic. So the first thing I did is to search for stories that touch the heart, and thankfully I found something pretty quickly. This one in particular was about a boy and a girl who were talking, constantly texting, and then one day suddenly he stops, and it's because he has a terminal illness. Now she doesn't realise that until the very end of the story. But what I found was a line which was "we shouldn't talk anymore," and I thought that could easily be a line that you could use in a song as the Charlie Puth song, which is "we don't talk anymore." So I thought I'd do "we shouldn't talk anymore." So instantly that became my title. Now the next thing would be to get into the mind of the protagonist or the main character. So I took a few more lines from the story on the internet. So for example, he would take ages to reply. So then I decided to put into my lyrics, "you never reply on time. It's like I'm one of five in the night when you call me through all your stories," that sort of thing. And that seemed to work quite well as a starting point. And often what happens when songwriting is once you have a few lines together, everything starts to flow out pretty quickly. And thankfully that's what happened here. You never reply on time, it's like I'm one of five in the night when you call me, tell your stories, you cry on the one. Now usually first time round, it's rare that you'll get the first verse to go completely in your favour. So what I decided to do is move on to the chorus, and I thought that I'd use the title line, which is "we shouldn't talk anymore," and then just repeat that 3 times, and then you'd have kind of a backup singer maybe singing the bit in brackets, which you should be able to see on the screen here, and this is what it sounds like. We shouldn't talk anymore, don't wanna hear about it. We shouldn't talk anymore, don't even understand it. We shouldn't talk anymore, you're on another planet if you think I'm back for more. You're on another planet if you think I'm back for more. That's quite cool. So after messing around a bit with the chorus, I decided to go back to the first verse and change a few things up. So I started with the line, "I tell you what you want to hear," and while that was good, I thought I should change that up to "I don't let up, that I'm fed up with this situation." And having those 2 rhymes in quick succession worked quite nicely as a sort of mini rap, the way Ed Sheeran kind of puts those in his songs. So I tried it and it sounded pretty cool, so I decided to keep that. Then at the end of the first verse, there's a bit which was "seem to seen me," "you seem to seen me," like you see my messages but don't respond. But then it ended up working better with "you seem to ignore me," so that's what I went with. True stories that don't overlap, but for the reasons you seem to ignore me. You never reply on time, it's like I'm one of five in the night when you call me, crying all the while. I think your stories that don't overlap, but for the reasons you seem to ignore me. We don't talk anymore, don't wanna hear about it. We shouldn't talk anymore, don't even understand it. We shouldn't talk anymore, you're on another planet if you think I'm back for more. So I'm now at the point where I've got a verse and a chorus, but they're basically the same, so I need to really sort out the structure of the song. I've just realised that the "we shouldn't talk anymore" bit could probably go on top of the "you never reply on time" bit, which I thought was going to be a pre-chorus or verse. And the reason is that it takes just the same amount of time and it also fits the same chords and everything. Okay, so I've just tried playing them at the same time through voice memos on my computer and my iPad. We shouldn't talk on time, don't wanna hear about it. We shouldn't talk anymore, don't even understand it. We shouldn't talk anymore, you're on another planet, and it seemed to work, so I'm going to try and do that, which means I need a lot more lyrics now to create verses, because I think having, especially at the end, having that chorus and the other chorus together sounded really powerful. So I have a pre-chorus and a chorus at this point, but that actually means I'm left without any verses at all. So I kind of need to start again when it comes to the story itself. So I thought, well, why don't we go back to a time when we're purely just friends, and I'm reminding you of people that maybe you liked in the past. So I'm basically saying in the song, was I wrong to remind you about that? Because I'm not sure if they're the type to maybe lead you right on, as you seem to be doing to me right now. So that's the kind of the idea I was going for. I don't know if that makes sense to most people when they listen to the song, but that's at least what I was going for. And I like that. So yeah, I went with that. And then it ended with, but you're making it hard to communicate right now. I was thinking of you make it hard to stay and talk, but communicate worked a lot better as a rhyme. So I went with that. That's cool. Was I wrong to remind you of someone that you like to can't decide if he's the type to lead you right on into a storm? Where have all the good men gone? Not the type to run away, but you're making it tough to communicate. Lead you right on into a storm. Where have all the good men gone? Not the type to run away, but you're making it tough to communicate. Something I don't like is that it's becoming too generalistic. I prefer if it's more of a story, and also it sounds too like crass in a way. But I'll try and work it out. There were also several times where nothing worked. Thankfully for the second verse, I was able to come up with it pretty quickly. Due to the idea of texting late at night, I thought, go back to sleep. I don't want to hear from you anymore. Maybe you should have a feel for what it's like to be silent in the night when no one's texting you, because I would like you to be responding to me straight away, but you're not, so I'm not even going to text you now. So maybe you'll maybe realise what you're missing when I don't text you. So that was the idea behind the second verse. Go back to sleep, put down your phone, don't want to hear from you no more. What's it like to live silent in the night? I'm not typing, I just turn down my brightness like this. Like that. So then it became important to create a proper structure for the song. So verse 1, pre-chorus, chorus, then verse 2, pre-chorus, chorus, then a bridge or an instrumental. I actually decided to go with the instrumental in the end, partly because I ran out of time, and then the pre-chorus and the chorus together. So I've finally got a decent structure, and the verse 2 is half the length of the first verse. And what you'll notice in a lot of pop songs is that they halve the second verse so that you can get straight back into the catchy chorus that everyone wants to hear. So I've done the same here. And also it means you can write less, so it's easier. So I'm now at the point where I think it would probably be quite a good idea to move to Logic, because then I can get a bit more of a feel for the song itself. Time is 4:02, so just under 2 hours left. So moving to Logic was pretty straightforward. I started with the BPM, which was 170, and then created a drum track, messed around with that for a little bit to get the drum track that I wanted. And then I moved to piano, so I did lots of recordings of piano. I was also at this time working out what I would play with my right and left hand. Generally with the right hand I'd play lots of different inversions, and then the left hand just kind of octaves. And I eventually came up with something that sounded good. And once I'd done that, I then would quantize that and then humanize that so that it sounds good enough for the production. Now, after doing piano and drums, I'd then go over to a bass so I can get a solid bass line in. And I got one which sounded pretty cool, I thought. And then I ended up using that same one for the synthesizers. Right, so I've just added in some synths. on Logic, and it sounds interesting. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this. I did this on a couple of my other songs. I just chucked in loads of synths and it made it sound a lot richer. So I do like the sound. Have a listen to this. So then it was time to apply some of the finishing touches. So instead of just we shouldn't talk anymore, we shouldn't talk anymore, I started with so we shouldn't talk anymore, or I think we shouldn't talk anymore, and then no, we shouldn't talk anymore, because it just becomes a bit more interesting when it gets to the chorus, and that seemed to work quite well. Okay, so it's 5 o'clock, so I've got 1 hour left. I've got most of the song together, and I've started a Logic file, so yeah, we're making good progress. With an hour left, am I realistically going to finish it? Probably not, but I'll give it my best shot. So guys, the time is 6:09 p.m. and I've just finished making a very basic demo for the song, which is called We Shouldn't Talk Anymore. I hope you like listening to it. Unfortunately, I had to sing completely in falsetto because I had no time to warm up or anything. But yeah, this needs a lot of refining. So, but the idea is that the core of the song is there. So I hope you can sense that when you're listening to it. It's far from a finished product. I would not even dare to put that out there, although I am for this YouTube video, just to show you the process. So yeah, hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
We shouldn't talk anymore. I think we shouldn't talk anymore. No, we shouldn't talk anymore. If you think I'm back from my own, won't be so surely. It's a me. I hold all the keys to the answers you seek. But first you tell me, was I wrong to remind you of someone that you like to can't decide if he's the type to lead you right on into a storm where have all the good men gone up the top to run away. But you're making it tough to communicate, cause you never reply on time. It's like I'm 1 of 5 in the night when you call me and crying all the while. I threw your stories I don't ever let up and about above all the reasons you seem to ignore. So we shouldn't talk anymore. Don't wanna hear about a thing, we shouldn't talk anymore. Don't even understand, no, we shouldn't talk anymore. You're running out of bad if you think I'm back from it. Wouldn't be so sure. Go back to sleep. Put down the phone, don't wanna hear from you no more. What's it like to the sun in the night? I'm not typing, I just have my brightness like this. You never fly with me, it's like I'm 1 of 5 in the night when you call me crying all the while. I threw your stories, I don't ever let up and about above all the reasons you seem to ignore. So we shouldn't talk anymore, don't wanna hear about it. We shouldn't talk anymore. We shouldn't talk anymore. If you think about from I wouldn't be so sure. We shouldn't talk anymore. We shouldn't talk anymore. It's like I'm top 5. We shouldn't talk anymore. We shouldn't talk anymore. Everything I'm missing, you seem to ignore me. We shouldn't talk anymore. It's like I hear about it. We shouldn't talk anymore. We shouldn't talk anymore. Everything I'm missing, you seem to ignore me. Be so sure.